All right, so are you ready for this? This Reddit story is wild. It's all about, friendship and jealousy and how quickly things can get crazy online.
Yeah, what we're going to see here is how, like, a friendship that seems totally normal can take this really dark turn. This isn't, just some random internet drama. It's like a textbook case of how people can be toxic and what can happen because of it.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
And you know what? It might even make you think about your own relationships a bit.
Hmm.
So, okay, let's break this whole story down. We have our main character. We'll just call her OP.
Hmm.
And then there's her friend F. Now, F is in this thing with a guy. His name is A.
Oh, this is going to be good.
I know, right? So F says they're dating, but when someone asked A about it, he said she was just a friend.
Oh, so right away there's trouble brewing.
Exactly. So you can already see how this is going to get messy. So at first, OP thinks F is just being, like, funny,
Hmm.
just typical friend stuff. But then things start to get a little weird.
How so?
Okay, so like when A says something nice about OP's eyes, F calls him a sleazy liar.
Oh, wow. That's like classic passive-aggressive behavior, right?
Right.
Instead of just saying how she feels, F uses sarcasm and these little digs to try and like undermine OP and her connection with A.
Yeah, exactly. And here's where it gets interesting. OP's been collecting rocks since she was a kid.
Rocks.
Rocks.
Actually.
It seems random, I know. But trust me, it becomes a big deal later on.
Okay. I'm intrigued. So I guess it shows how when someone feels threatened, they'll use anything to attack the other person, even something as random as rocks.
Exactly. So A and OP, they start hanging out more. They bond over their shared love of rocks. For OP's birthday, A makes her a drawing. Yeah. A sweet gesture, right?
That's innocent enough.
Well, F completely loses it.
Oh boy, here we go.
I know, right? So in F's mind, this drawing is like a symbol of A and OP getting closer.
Yeah.
And it triggers a wave of jealousy and possessiveness.
So basically the drawing was the last straw.
Pretty much F starts making all these snide comments about A's drawing skills, trying to like downplay the gift, but then it gets so much worse.
Bro, what does she do?
She goes straight for OP's heritage. Remember, OP's Japanese Brazilian. F starts using these awful racist slurs.
Seriously, that's taking it way too far.
I know. It's just awful. She calls her a Jap mutt, compares her to a ghetto porn star. Just completely unhinged stuff.
Wow, that's just, I can't even, that's terrible.
And get this. She tries to use OP's rock collecting to insult her. She compares it to her own supposed, sexual relationship with A.
Wait, how does she even?
I know. It's ridiculous. She actually says, "You collect rocks while I play with his balls." Can you believe that?
Oh my God, that is so cringy and so revealing too. It shows how distorted her thinking is. Like she thinks physical intimacy equals power and she's trying to put OP down in this really demeaning way.
Yeah, it's just awful. But here's the thing. OP handles it like a total pro.
Good for her.
She throws back these witty comebacks and shuts F down completely. She even uses a meme, "I'm tired, boss," to make fun of F's claims about their, relationship.
Oh, that's brilliant. Using humor to deflect the situation, it shows how immature and ridiculous F is being.
Right. It's the perfect way to disarm someone like that. Don't even play their game. So after being totally roasted, F goes into damage control mode.
Damage control, what do you mean?
She starts spreading lies about OP to A and all their mutual friends, like crazy stuff. STIs, abortions, even a fake baby daddy in jail.
Wow, she's really going all out.
Oh, and she even posts a crying selfie for sympathy, trying to play the victim.
It's classic manipulation and gaslighting. She can't handle what she did, so she tries to shift the blame and make herself look innocent. It's something people do when they don't want to take responsibility for their actions and they don't know how to deal with conflict in a healthy way.
You hit the nail on the head. So luckily, A actually confronts OP about these lies. He gives her a chance to show him the proof.
So he's not just blindly believing F. That's good.
Yeah, he's actually willing to listen to OP's side of the story, which is so important, right? It prevents misunderstandings and lets them figure things out based on facts.
Communication is key.
You got it. So you'd think the drama's over, right? Wrong. This is where things get scary. In another Reddit post, OP tells everyone that F has gone full-on stalker.
Oh no. This is where it stops being entertaining and starts being a warning sign. This kind of behavior is serious and it can be dangerous. It's scary to think someone you thought you knew could act like this. But the good news is OP isn't alone. She shared her story on Reddit and everyone there was super supportive and gave her advice.
It really shows how powerful a community can be. When someone's going through a hard time, people come together to help and offer support. It's amazing.
Yeah, it's heartwarming to see. So what kind of advice did people give her?
Well, people suggested all sorts of things, like documenting everything and changing her travel plans. Some even said she should get a restraining order.
It's important for anyone listening who might be going through something similar to know that they have options. Things like restraining orders can offer protection, but it's important to talk to the police or a lawyer to figure out the best thing to do for their situation.
Right. And some people pointed out that it might not be good to engage with F online, even if it's to defend herself. They said it's better to keep her distance and avoid anything that could make her obsession worse.
That's really important. When you're dealing with someone who's acting like a stalker, any response, even negative attention, can encourage them. It's often better to just ignore them, completely stop communicating, and set clear boundaries.
Like they say, don't feed the trolls. Sometimes silence is the best way to deal with them. So after diving into this crazy story, what can we learn from it?
I think one of the biggest takeaways is that jealousy and possessiveness can be really destructive. This isn't just about a love triangle, it's about recognizing the warning signs of toxic behavior and knowing how to protect yourself.
It also makes you think about how social media can blur the lines between what's online and what's offline. It's easy to present a perfect version of yourself online, but as we see in this story, things can fall apart really quickly and reveal a much darker side.
That's right. This case really shows how online interactions can make negative emotions and behaviors so much worse. It reminds us that while social media can be great for connecting with people, it can also create unhealthy obsessions and lead to harmful actions.
It also makes you question how well you really know your friends. It's scary to think that someone you're close to could be capable of such negativity and harmful behavior.
Which is why it's so important to pay attention to even small changes in behavior and notice red flags. Open communication, honesty, and mutual respect are the foundation of any healthy relationship.
You know, this whole situation really made me think about how important personal boundaries and self-protection are. Recognizing those early warning signs and knowing how to respond effectively can make all the difference.
Yeah, and it's easier said than done sometimes.
Totally. But it's worth it.
Hmm?
So going back to this story, F starts doing some really creepy stuff. She shows up at OP's house uninvited. She bombards her with calls and texts from new numbers after being blocked. She even contacts OP's family and tells them she's worried about OP's mental health, clearly trying to manipulate everyone.
That's such a violation of boundaries. It shows how obsessed she is and how far she's willing to go to intrude on OP's life. It's inappropriate and potentially dangerous.
And this is where it gets even crazier. Get this. F books the exact same flight as OP's planned solo trip. Same destination, same dates. It's like something out of a movie.
Wow, that level of fixation is really concerning. Booking the same flight shows that she has no respect for OP's personal space and is determined to insert herself into OP's life, even if it means putting OP in danger.
It's really disturbing. And it's a reminder that online conflicts can spill over into the real world with serious consequences. We need to take this kind of behavior seriously. It's so easy to get caught up in these stories and think like, oh, that would never happen to me. But the truth is, anyone can be vulnerable to this kind of toxic behavior.
Exactly. And that's why it's so important to, arm ourselves with the knowledge and tools to handle these situations.
Yeah.
We need to be able to spot those red flags early on, set boundaries, and protect ourselves from people who might try to manipulate or use it.
And that's something we talk about all the time on Voices of the Soul. We explore things like self-awareness, emotional intelligence, and building healthy relationships. If you're looking for guidance on setting boundaries or dealing with difficult people or just understanding yourself better, I highly recommend checking it out.
We offer practical tips and insights to help you navigate the challenges of modern relationships, both online and offline. It's a great resource for anyone looking to build healthier connections and protect themselves from toxic influences.
And speaking of resources, I recently found this YouTube channel, Shauna Pelage, and I'm hooked. She has so much great content on personal growth, setting boundaries, and dealing with difficult people. It's like she knows exactly how these tricky dynamics work.
Her videos are so insightful, and she gives really practical advice for handling complex social situations. She even breaks down specific scenarios like how to respond to passive-aggressive comments or how to disengage from someone who's stalking you.
I was really drawn to her video on recognizing the early signs of a toxic friendship. It made me think about the people in my own life and whether I'm setting healthy boundaries. Honestly, I think everyone should watch it.
Totally agree. It's a good reminder that we all have a responsibility to protect our own emotional well-being. And sometimes that means distancing ourselves from people who bring negativity and drama into our lives.
This whole Reddit story really drives that point home. We need to be careful about protecting ourselves both online and offline. It's easy to get swept up in a new connection, but we have to pay attention to those red flags and trust our gut.
And if something feels wrong, don't hesitate to ask for advice and support from people you trust, like friends, family members, or even professionals. There's nothing wrong with getting help, and it could make a huge difference in protecting yourself.
So what are the key takeaways for our listeners today?
Well, first of all, be aware of the red flags of toxic behavior. Pay attention to those subtle cues, those gut feelings that tell you something's not right. Don't ignore them.
And don't be afraid to set boundaries. It's not selfish to protect yourself. It's essential.
And remember, you're not alone. There are resources out there to help you deal with difficult situations. Whether as a trusted friend, a therapist, or a supportive online community, reach out and get the help you need.
We hope this deep dive is giving you something to think about and some tools to help protect yourself from toxic people and situations. If you found this episode helpful, please consider subscribing to Voices of the Soul for more in-depth discussions on navigating the complexities of life and relationships.
And be sure to check out Shauna Pelage's YouTube channel for more practical advice on personal growth and setting healthy boundaries. Her insights are amazing.
Thanks for joining us on this deep dive. And remember, knowledge is power. Stay informed, stay vigilant, and stay safe.